Mediocre Murad watches all these self-improvement videos. He gets excited. Yes, I'm going to get to 12% body fat. I'm going to make 10k a month. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do that. He thinks he's going to become the next top 1% man. And for the following week, he's relentlessly taking action. Waking up early, doing deep work, going to the gym, eating clean. But boom, all of a sudden, the motivation wears off and he can't seem to do anything productive at all. All he wants to do is scroll on this, watch TikTok and eat junk food for the whole day. He wants to be productive, yet he feels extremely overwhelmed. Meanwhile, exceptional Imran has understood that motivation is fleeting. You can feel it one day, but then the next day you can feel apathy towards your work, your business, the gym. However, he's forged an elite mindset that allows him to never miss a day, and that is through the 5-minute rule. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh, my brothers. My name is Pablo and I help young Muslim men become productive. Alhamdulillah, I've been able to upload every single day over the past year on various social media platforms, and as a result I've picked up many life-changing productivity tactics along the way. If you're an aspiring Muslim content creator or an aspiring Muslim entrepreneur or even a student and you're struggling to focus and be productive, check out my free course, link in the description below. You see, we've all been there where we're fueled by this endless motivation. We wake up and want to conquer the world, start a revolution and become a leader. The thing is, this is normal. There are going to be days where you're extremely motivated. You can do everything and anything. But there's going to be even more days where you don't feel motivated, where it's a struggle to do anything, where you have all these big tasks that you need to do, but you feel extremely overwhelmed. You see, not too long ago, I was exactly that guy who had big aspirations, big dreams, but I found it very hard to sit down and do the work. So more specifically, during my time at school, whether that was GCSEs or A-levels, I had these big dreams. I wanted to get the A's and the A stars. I was like, yeah, I need to sit down for 4 or 5 hours, do the work. I used to get motivated and excited to do the work. And the reason why when it was time to take action, I'd procrastinate is because I felt overwhelmed and the task would seem very daunting. And now I realize the reason why I didn't get the grades I wanted in GCSEs or A-levels was simply due to the fact that I felt overwhelmed and now I understand that the reason why I wasn't able to work and get the grades I wanted in GCSEs and A-levels was because I felt overwhelmed by all the work I had to do. You see, I had set these expectations extremely high. I'd be like, yeah, I need to sit down for 4 hours, do work, then do this, then do that. I'd overwhelm myself with all these tasks that I had to do. And so, of course, when I tried to sit down and do work, I'd get this out, I'd go on YouTube, I'll do this, I'll do that, I'll do everything else but the actual work. And as a result, I set the bar extremely high, which meant I didn't even take 1 minute of action. And it was simply through the 5-minute rule. So around the time I was leaving university and I was about to enter the real world, I was watching all this self-improvement content. Specifically, one big influencer by the name of Justin Waller, who said he would lie to himself to show up to the gym and say, just do one machine, exercise or whatnot. You see, I'd always hear about it, and then I finally decided one day, you know what? Let me implement it, and I've done it in every facet of my life. I've done it with the gym, the podcast, the business, eating clean. I've done it with everything. It made me realize that the most important thing wasn't quality, but rather consistency. And the only way you can achieve consistency is through the 5-minute rule. You see, the thing is, we've all been there where we have this massive task that we need to do, whether that's for your business, content creation, or simply for your studies. You have it in the back of your mind, you're like, you know what, I need to do it. However, you're procrastinating. You're going on YouTube, TikTok, Instagram. You're doing everything but the work. And it feels like an uphill battle to sit down and get started. You see, the reason for this is because you don't have motivation anymore and your discipline level, your discipline muscle is quite low. Which is normal because at the start you won't be disciplined and your motivation will finally wear off. So when you have a lack of motivation and a lack of discipline, this is how you're going to increase the discipline muscle. And that is through, you see, when your motivation wears off and you have no discipline, doing that big task is going to be daunting because you're going to be like, you know what, I need to sit there for an hour and a half, which may require focus, mental energy. You're just going to think, bruv, this is so long, I can't be asked, let me do something else. However, you know you need to do the work because you've got a business, you've got an exam coming up, or you need to be consistent in uploading every single day. So you have all these bad emotions. You feel overwhelmed, you're stressed, it feels daunting, like it's not a good situation to be in. This is where the 5-minute rule does its magic. You see, the thing is, there's going to be a point in time where the motivation isn't there and the discipline isn't there. So what you need to do is build your discipline through the 5-minute rule. You need to simply lie to yourself and say, you know what, let me just sit down for 5 minutes and see what I can do. No pressure to sit there for an hour, 2 hours, do 3,000 words, do this, do that. All you have to say is do 5 minutes worth of work. Set the bar of expectations extremely low. So for example, you want to start doing deep work, but after the motivation wears off, it's going to feel like a struggle to wake up and do it. So what you say to yourself is, just sit there for 5-10 minutes, just do 200 words, 300 words. The reason why this is so effective is because it lowers the barrier to entry. Instead of having this overwhelming feeling, oh, I need to sit there for 3 hours, do this, I need to write 4,000 words, I need to do all these big monumental tasks, it simply lowers the barrier. You don't have to do that much. All you have to do is show up for 5 minutes and write 100 words or 200 words. It's very simple and very easy. It lowers the bar of expectations extremely low, making the task way more manageable and sustainable. And so therefore, what will happen? You actually sit there and do work, because even your lizard brain won't say no. It'll be like, you know what, let's do it because it's easy. This makes the task go from trying to climb Mount Everest, because you need to do this big task, sit there for an hour and a half, write a certain amount of words. You need to do all these things in such a prolonged period of time. However, when you tell yourself, only sit there for 5 minutes, only do 200 words, the task is reduced to moving one pebble, which anyone can do. Furthermore, when you first start a task, you're going to expend a lot of activation energy because you need to mold your mind and your brain, to do the work. Yet, when you enter the task, it's much easier to sustain it because your mind's used to it and you're in a rhythm, you're in the zone. It's the same way when a plane begins liftoff, it uses a lot of energy. However, when it's in the air, it doesn't use as much energy. And the thing is, you may think, how is this effective? If I only sit down for 5 minutes or I only do 200 words, how am I really going to make any progress towards my goals? And that's a very valid question. On face value, it may seem like you won't make any progress if you just sit there for 5 minutes. Or you do a little bit of work. However, this is where the magic comes in. Because the thing is, I'd say around 99% of the time, when you lie to yourself and say, just sit there for 5 minutes, you do way more work than you intended to do. The reason for this is because you enter that rhythm, you enter the zone, you're like, yeah, I'm liking this, I'm doing this, and so you would want to finish the task. The thing is, you'll tell yourself, let me just sit there for 5 minutes and see what I can do. However, what happens is that you sit there for an hour and a half and write 2 YouTube scripts or edit that very big video that you need to upload. Because when you're in the moment, all those mental barriers, that overwhelming feeling, that stress, it all goes away because you immerse yourself in the task at hand. You see, the thing is, there's many times where I tell myself, you know what, just sit there for 5 minutes and see what you can do. No pressure. And it's for this exact reason why I've been able to relentlessly take action over the past year. So for example, my productivity course I was like, you know what, I need to make this school community. But I wasn't thinking I need to make it perfect from the start. I didn't have these massive expectations. All I said to myself is just show up, try write the scripts, try record, try doing the PowerPoint. I said just try, see what you can do. There's no pressure. I don't need to make it like this, like that. And alhamdulillah, we've launched it. Or back in the day when I was uploading long form YouTube videos regarding Islamic history, I remember my first ever video. It was about the Quran fatwa, if any of you guys know about it. And I was like, you know what? Just show up and see what you can do. There's no expectations, there's no pressure, All you have to do is write a couple of words and see wagwan. The reason why this productivity tactic will allow you to succeed will be the reason why you make monumental progress towards any of your goals is simple. It gives you the ability to show up every single day. You see, the thing is, motivation, as we've said before, is very fleeting. I would say around 20% of the days I'm motivated. The other 80% is through discipline. And so you need to strengthen this discipline muscle. You need to implement habits and systems that will enable you to do the work even when you don't feel like it, even when it's hard, even when it feels like it's overwhelming, when the task seems daunting. Furthermore, it will compound exponentially. If you always tell yourself, just show up for 5 minutes, and you do 30 minutes this day, then the next day 40 minutes, then another day maybe 25, but then the next day an hour, this will all compound because you're doing those big tasks that require a lot of mental energy and focus. And so you'll beat the competition because you're showing up every day doing those hard tasks that require a lot of, time, attention, and effort. You see, the thing is, my bro, this is an extremely powerful concept that you can implement into your life today. You see, this can be the difference between you achieving your goals or failing to meet them. The reason for this is simple. It lowers the barrier to entry, allowing you to build that discipline muscle, and more often than not, you doing way more work than you intended to do. It's literally a cheat code for success that you need to implement, because if you don't, you'll lose to these people who do. Remember, productivity is the path to your dream life.